The man sprayed some water on the model, and strangely enough, it suddenly started raining outside. He picked up the spray bottle again and gave it a few more squirts. The rain outside intensified into a downpour.
Jesus.
People on the street were caught off guard and soaked to the bone. Mike opened the window and looked out. Rain was indeed pouring from the sky. With this accidental discovery of the town model, he could control everything that happened in town. At the local KFC, customers were buzzing about yesterday's bizarre rainstorm. The owner was complaining about business getting worse by the day. She wanted to repaint the restaurant to attract more customers, but was pretty bummed about not having enough money to hire workers. Mike quietly jotted down the owner's wish in his notebook. That night, he stood before the town model and got to work. The next day, the rundown restaurant had been freshly painted, though nobody knew who'd done this good deed. The owner was thrilled. An elderly woman had fallen on the street, and Mike rushed over to help her up. She complained about a huge pothole that she'd written to the mayor about fixing, but nobody had bothered to do anything. Mike glanced at the town's suggestion box and immediately had an idea. He brought the box home. It was stuffed with residents' suggestions for improving the town, but the greedy mayor had never lifted a finger. Mike hunched over the model, first patching up the pothole in the miniature version, and the real pothole outside vanished instantly. Next, he used tweezers to clean up the model's litter, straightened out the trash cans, pulled out dead trees, and fixed the town's problems one by one. The streets became clean and tidy. Suddenly, a dog's bark broke his concentration. Mike grabbed a leftover bone from his meal and tossed it to the dog. Good lord, the dog had never seen a bone bigger than itself. When dawn broke, the townspeople discovered their town had been completely transformed, neat and spotless. Even the residents who'd been planning to leave decided to stay. Mike felt as excited as a kid, but he figured this wasn't enough. The town's economy was in the dumps mainly because the highway expansion had cut off access to the town. With fewer and fewer visitors, he got busy with the model again. Mike created a huge illuminated sign and placed it at the town entrance so cars on the highway could see it. Sure enough, this move paid off big time. More people started coming to town. Cars stopping for gas, customers dining at KFC, the once dead town gradually came alive. As night fell and the sign lit up, Mike stood at his window admiring his handiwork with satisfaction. People gathered, wondering who on earth was doing all this behind the scenes. Soon someone guessed it must be the mayor, and that shameless jerk actually took credit for it, basking in everyone's praise. This really ticked Mike off. So he went back to the model, zeroed in on the mayor's beloved BMW, picked up a pebble, and chucked it at the car window without hesitation. In an instant, it was as if a meteorite had fallen from the night sky. The next day, the mayor found his car totally wrecked and nearly lost it. A young boy stood nearby, snickering with a notebook in his hand. The mayor furiously snatched the notebook. It was full of comics the kid had drawn. The enraged mayor chewed out the boy, calling him a troublemaker. This didn't sit well with the bystanders, who started grumbling about the mayor. Seeing the crowd turn, the mayor quickly changed his tune, laughing it off as just joking around with the kid. He then launched into a grand speech about how the meteorite might attract more tourists. The crowd's attitude flipped instantly, and they started applauding. Watching this, Mike felt even more annoyed. That night, Mike saw the mayor walking alone on the street. He quietly picked up his pet spider and placed it in the middle of the road. The spider, originally just fist-sized, had transformed into a gigantic monster. The mayor had never seen such a terrifying creature and literally wet his pants. The spider slowly advanced on him, then suddenly lifted into the air. Mike had removed it after all.